Hey everyone, this is Cecily. I'm here with a little bit of a vlogging moment for you all. I wanted to share my hospital experience with you guys. Fortunately, this hospital visit isn't actually about my ostomy and anything involving my intestines. It's because I got an infection of the blood from my PICC line.
Hindsight is 2020. When I recorded this in the hospital, the doctors thought that the PICC line was indeed the source of the infection. However, it turns out that it was not the PICC line, but rather all of the bacteria in my blood came from my intestines. Nothing ruptured, there was no bowel rupture, there was no open air in my abdominal cavity or anything. What ended up, they think, happening was that my bowels swelled, became inflamed, and that allowed for transmission of bacteria in the bowels to get into the blood. Dehydration probably also had a big role to play in the sepsis attack. I just wanted to give you guys quick clarification on that because I actually didn't know until pretty much the end of my stay what had actually caused this infection for sure. And to be honest, even the doctors still don't know what exactly could have caused it. That's just sort of a theory right now.
I'm in the short-term stay area. However, I will be here for pretty much the whole week, so pretty long stay, but hopefully things will shake out to be all right. I'm already on treatment for the infection with antibiotics and normal saline just to keep me hydrated. So yeah, we're working pretty hard on managing pain and specifically knocking out this type of bacteria that's just running rampant through the blood. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated as things change. This is See, it's been kind of a rough hospital stay. Not having my own bathroom has been probably one of the hardest parts, just like day to day, because changing all my ostomy supplies and all the dressings and dressing my wound and whatnot is way easier with your own bathroom that's clean and private, and this floor has communal bathrooms, so it's been a little bit more difficult for me than usual, but hopefully when I get released I can just go back to my normal life at home. But yeah, so that's sort of where we are. One of the biggest problems is that this is where the PICC line was. As you can see, when you get a PICC line taken out, it just leaves like a tiny little scar. Not a big deal. But these IVs, I have another one on the other arm as well. These IVs are just, they're not doing so hot. They keep blowing out from anything they put in, drugs, flush, saline, antibiotics. So the veins are a little bit tenuous at the moment. So our main goal right now, besides treating the infection, is also keeping these IV lines stable and ready to use. Harder than one might imagine, actually. I have notoriously bad veins. It's one of the reasons that the PICC line is so helpful for me. And it looks like I'll be getting another PICC line in my left arm sometime this week before I'm discharged, as I'll have to go home on IV antibiotics. Please let me know if you've ever had something like this happen to you, where you were between central lines and suddenly you had to get all these IVs placed all over you. If you're anything like me, you hate IVs, and having them placed is almost as bad as having someone poke your eye on purpose. It's kind of tough. But yeah, my mom has been just incredibly sweet. She came all the way from my hometown to visit me here, and she's been staying with me every single day. So is my boyfriend. He's come visit me every day. As someone who does a lot of hospital stays that can sometimes be really long, it means the world to have family and friends come by and just tell you that they're thinking of you. If you ever have the chance to do that for someone else who's in this position, please do. It makes a huge difference in their lives. Okay, and I wanted to show you guys one last thing. I had to bring my Minecraft beauty pie with me because why not? and I need something warm and snuggly for the days because this infection has been pretty rough. So my boyfriend was kind enough to bring him from home. He was actually a gift from him. So I've had Felix here with me the whole time. It's been a good time. The nurses on this floor are also really sweet, so that's another helpful thing. I'm about to go have a CT scan. They want to see if they can find where the infection started, because they're not sure if it started with the pick or if it started from something in the bowel, which is equally possible. And this is my IV contrast. Big water. It was so funny because the guy who gave it to me, the CT tech, he was like, "Oh, but you get to, I know it tastes terrible, but you get to keep the bottle." And I'm like, "Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate that, I guess." So yeah, now I have a new water bottle. Coldest water bottle, what? I don't need a sponsor. I have CT juice, thank you very much. One of my biggest problems right now with this infection is nausea. So I had the craving for these special types of candies that I think are so helpful for people with nausea. They're called gingins, and they're basically ginger candies. Ginger is a really good natural antiemetic. Get yourself a bag of gingins if you're in for a long stay in the hospital without a ton of great nausea control. Check out these sexy ass slippers I got. Grips on both sides, guys. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty lit. I'm just chilling, trying to drink all this beautiful IV contrast juice. It's great. Like I said, ugh, got that part. They should be putting in a new pick at the end of the week. I have to be 48 hours clear of any bacteria residue in the blood. I have to come back clean for blood cultures for 48 hours at least. So every time I keep showing up for positive blood cultures, they have to add another 48 hours to the clock before they can put a new pick in. So I'm stuck with these beautiful, very painful IVs until we can actually get a decent pick set in. But until then, it's just me and 2 busted ass IVs. So that's where we are. So, I am getting discharged today, and I can't wait. I've been here for about 10 days, so I'm really excited. They should be coming in any minute to start talking about discharge and everything. I know I'm going home with my antibiotics, so I'm pretty sure I have to learn how to use it when I'm at home and not connected to the nurse's IVs. So, that's something I have to do today, and I've been pretty lucky to get my own room. It's been quiet and comfortable. Hasn't been the most fun stay for other reasons, but for that, I could say I was very lucky. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Feeling much better than when I filmed my last segment. So luckily we have that going for us. And I will say that it's been significantly easier to sort of recover and heal in my own room. So if you can request a private room, please try, especially if you're going through an infection or recovering from surgery, because those two things are pretty tough on the body. I will say, something I noticed is that my stamina has reduced a lot just being in the hospital, even though I've tried to walk. And I think that's just because you're sedentary for most of the day, and they do say that for every day of deconditioning in the hospital, you have about 3 days of reconditioning in the real world due. So I'm definitely feeling that. The shower I took the day before yesterday was incredibly tough on my body. I don't usually get that tired from doing things ever. So yeah, I'm sure if you guys have been in the hospital frequently, you know that there's hospital fatigue and it's pretty rough. But yeah, so this is my room. Cribs, hospital edition. It's a very nice single room. I'm really lucky. I know a lot of people on this floor didn't have it, and yes, that is Pewds. Say hi, PewDiePie. But yeah, this is my room, and it's been pretty cozy. I'm actually getting discharged today, and I decided to pick up the camera and film it for you guys so you get an idea of where I've been staying. Really good to have a bag that can hang in the hospital, because as you can see, there might not be a ton of space. I was lucky and got a single room, but not everyone is going to get a single room, and it may be possible that you're not going to have a lot of space. So having any sort of hanging bag is a really, really good tip. And Also, if you do get a shower, it can be good to bring your own stuff, because sometimes you'll find that the hospital doesn't really have the best things possible for you to shower with. So another little tip for you. But the best thing I can say is bring a portable hanging bag that has all of your supplies in it. Back in normal clothes again. So nice to not feel like I'm wearing a smock every day. I'm finally back in my normal clothes. We're just waiting on discharge at this point. It's kind of taking forever, I don't know, but it's funny. It's like a watch pot never boils. The days seem to move so much slower here when you know you're supposed to be leaving. So yeah, that's the situation right now. Finally back home. Heck yeah. Okay, so I finally got home from the hospital yesterday and spent most of today sleeping. I also saw my home care nurse, who's going to be taking care of the new PICC line and also just monitoring vitals, making sure my fever doesn't come back. Basically, the main thing they told me was, if your fever comes back, come back, because that means that the antibiotics aren't doing a great job of keeping the infection at bay. So it's going to be really important that I go back if it's ever necessary for us to get some more antibiotics or a different course or something. Hopefully nothing will become resistant or anything. They said there's a low chance of that even happening, but you can never be too careful. So I'm taking my temperature about every 3 hours, and I've also been taking my blood pressure. And I would advise, if you guys are chronically ill or anything, especially if you have some sort of propensity toward getting immunologically compromised, keep a blood pressure cuff at home, because that just makes it a little bit like easier for you to tell them at the hospital. I can keep up with it. So I have a blood pressure cuff. It's kind of old. I've had it for a while now. And basically it is my old reliable. It helps me out a lot. So I've been keeping that by my bed. My ostomy output has been high. They said that that could be due to the antibiotics, honestly. I don't put it past them. I've been on antibiotics before, and it almost always causes some sort of high output or high gas production or something wrong with my output. So I would say, wasn't shocked that that's been happening, but it's been happening. I want to show you guys, so I have a nice little setup here. Since I already do my own saline fluids at home with the PICC line, I already have an IV pole. Probably point that. Yep, one of my prized possessions. Anyway, so I have my own infusion setup. It's got my antibiotic, and then also it's got saline. I have to run my antibiotics. I have two, Cipro and Zyvox. I have to run Cipro first, then Zyvox, hour in between. 12 hours later, Cipro, 1 hour, Zyvox. And usually they like to have me do saline in between those infusions. If you have Plasmolite or something with a high degree of electrolytes in it as your supportive fluids, definitely ask your nurses and your discharge people, hey, is it okay if I take Plasmolite at home with the antibiotics at the same time? I'm not allowed to. They said you can't take Plasmolite, they're incompatible. You can't take Plasmolite and the antibiotics together, but they can be at different times of the day. So the point of me mentioning this is I know a lot of ostomates and people with other bowel diseases get supportive fluids at home, and a lot of them do have Plasmolite. It's spelled Lyte. If you're prescribed an antibiotic, make sure that you run it past your doctor and say, can I do simultaneous infusions, or are these incompatible? Because that was not really a question for me, I just do saline, but it was something that they mentioned. This is my inner closet, and I'm going to show you my infusion setup. So in my top box, I have flushes. I also have some Calvicon here, and alcohol wipes. Obviously the Calvicon's for the stoma, not for any kind of infusion stuff. And these are all my boxes of fluids. And then this is my box of antibiotics. Check these out. Oh yeah. Band-Aid, Star Wars. Now, one of the main barriers to me feeling better has been extreme nausea, just like horrible nausea. And they said that that could again also be because of the antibiotic. I don't know, because as I think I've mentioned in previous videos, my nausea has been for like 2 months. So I can do a quick debrief about some of the things that they told me could be the culprit for this septicemia, bacteremia infection of the blood in a different video. I don't want to get too much into the nitty-gritty of that. Basically, they're saying it's very important for you to stay hydrated right now. And my white cell counts are low, so my immunity's low. So in every other part of my life, I have to be really diligent about not getting sick, aka don't get the coronavirus, kids, especially if you're immunocompromised, which I am at the moment. So yeah, just keep that in mind, because like, oh my god, the last thing I need is corona, Jesus Christ. Every day they came in about 2-hour shifts to take my vitals, and oh my god, I swear, they must have listened to my lungs so many times, and everyone kept saying, oh, they sound good, you're not gonna get the coronavirus, and I'm like,
don't you goddamn jinx me, okay?
I'm a little bit, like, paranoid at the moment, but hopefully no one gets it, and if you guys are listening, please be safe, stay safe. But I'm home, and I'm back in my space. I'm surrounded by Spider-Man again, which makes me very, very happy, and at least I'm back in my own bed. I can't even tell you guys what a big difference it makes to just be home to your well-being. Yes, I still have a lot of the negative symptoms that I was experiencing before. Of course, the antibiotics don't even work that quickly, but basically, I'm feeling much better just being home. So if you are in the hospital, you're not sleeping well, you're stressed, these are all reasons that it might be tough for you to recover. So it's nice to be home, and I'm glad that they sent me back. But mostly, I'm just happy to be talking to you guys again. So I will definitely catch you in the next one. I should be uploading again pretty soon, either tomorrow or the next day. It depends on how I'm feeling, because I want to keep you up to date on everything, and I have some things I want to discuss. But in the meantime, leave me your comments. Let me know if you guys have ever wrestled sepsis or bacteremia. It is kind of a tough road, especially because it can be so hard to diagnose at first. But we got very quick blood cultures back, only took 7 hours. So that's kind of unprecedentedly fast for most blood infections. Pretty significant bacterial load in my blood. I'm just glad I made it to the ER in time. And I'm glad I made it out of the ER in time, because good lord, that hospital is filling up with people full of the flu. So right now, just be safe. Stay away from hospitals if you can. It's not a great place to be during an outbreak. But I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you again for watching. Please leave me comments. I want to hear all about your experiences in the hospital. And I will get back to you with another video pretty soon. Bye, guys.